Alright, we just started the Roy's Peak hike. We woke up at 3:15 a.m. It's now 4:15 a.m. Don't love getting up super early, but really excited to do this hike and hopefully see an epic sunrise at the top. I'm 10 minutes in already, really out of breath. You know, they say this hike, the trail itself is theoretically easy in that you're not stepping over big rocks and roots and things like that. It almost looks like a road, but it's super steep, basically all the way to the top. Oh, it's getting so hot hiking up here, even though it's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit out. Just had to take off my jacket, and we've only been going about 13-14 minutes here. So it's interesting, part of the Roy's Peak hike goes through private property, so we just walked over some steps running over one of the fences on the property. I read it's closed a little bit, sometime starting in October. I'll put the dates in the video, but for lambing season, and then it reopens for hikers after that. So one of the perks to hiking in the dark is you can't really see how much further you have to go. So, you know, that definitely helps from a mental standpoint. I heard this one can feel very challenging when you see just how long and high up you have to go. And, you know, I imagine hiking during the day, it's a little bit monotonous because we're just going on the same kind of dirt road with switchbacks, and it doesn't really seem like there's, you know, much around us to look at. I imagine there will be really great views of the lake in Wānaka on the way down, but otherwise it's just kind of grassy fields around us. Oops. Now I will say, even though we can't really see how far we have left to go, I see a lot of tiny headlamps in the distance. Reminds me a bit of when I hiked Mount Kilimanjaro and we summited in the middle of the night as well. So it is a little tough when you see teeny weeny light really far away. Oh, so here's another one of those gates to cross over. Oh. I was also reading many people recommend hiking Roy's Peak for sunrise because the trail to the summit is really exposed and the sun really beats down on it, so it can get quite hot hiking up to the top. I'll also say the sun here in New Zealand is really intense. You know, I came here after visiting Bali and I thought, you know, Bali's way hotter than New Zealand. I'm not going to be super hot in New Zealand, but even on days when the temperatures have been quite lower in New Zealand, I've still felt quite hot because the sun is so intense. And, you know, I actually, even though I keep putting sunscreen on, I keep getting sunburned because the UV rays here are really strong. There's quite a thin layer of ozone over New Zealand, thinner than elsewhere in the world, so it's a lot easier to get burned. So I'm hot right now, climbing up this mountain in the dark at 5 something in the morning, so I can't imagine how much warmer it'll get later in the day for folks. So like I said, part of this passes through private lands for a farm, and the whole way up we've been seeing some poop on the trail, and I've been hoping we'd see some sheep. So here we are. Hopefully we see some more on the way down. So you can see there, way down below in the distance, all those teeny lights are people hiking up with their headlamps on. So yeah, you can imagine how far we've come, and we haven't even been hiking an hour and a half here. So it's 6:30 a.m. and we're starting to see some early glimmers of the sunrise. Past a sign back there. Apparently we're only about 30 minutes from the top, so we're almost there. Alright, we're in the home stretch now. The peak is just up there, but it's getting super, super steep and quite sandy and slick. Alright, we made it to the top. As you can see, it took us a little over 2.5 hours, not including stops. Had just over 4,000 feet of elevation gain and 4.65 miles. So it was a really rough ascent, but definitely worth it for these incredible views. So we're headed back down from the summit. We had a nice time enjoying the view up there, but didn't stay too long because it quickly started getting really cold. My hands are so cold right now I can't even get my gloves on, but hopefully now that we're moving again we'll start warming up soon. Also realizing apparently we took a jankier, off-trail way to get up to the summit, because this trail heading down is significantly easier. It's a lot more packed in dirt wider trail, whereas the one we took up, we just followed everyone else, and it clearly must have just been random little trails people had made, and it was really loose sand and a lot steeper than this. So I'm glad we're not going down that and that we found this instead. Okay, I see. So we came from there. That's the way we went up. That was really difficult. And then we came down over there, which was a lot easier. See the summit up there? So there's the summit. Now we're walking back down, and you can see all the little switchbacks. We have a long way to go, but hopefully it's better on the downhill. Alright, so I just realized you can see the parking lot way down there. So our little rental car's down there. But yeah, now that the sun has risen, you can really see just how sunny and exposed this whole hike is. The rest of the hike goes down the same side of the mountain, so I'm really glad that we hiked up before the sunrise. So if you are looking for the famous Roy's Peak photo spot, it's not actually at the summit, but at this viewpoint. So the other perk to coming at sunrise, as you can see, now that the sun's risen, a lot of clouds are starting to form and might obscure the views a little bit. So it was nice we got to truly see everything before those started forming, and cool to see them now, but thankfully we don't have to worry about our views getting ruined. We just heard a sheep, so that's promising. Now we're on the lookout. Hopefully we'll see some more sheep on the way down now that the sun has risen. Here you can see in the daytime one of those gate crossings. Hi! Oh, so we found one of the sheep. We're just having a little snack. I mean, what a place to live and have a snack. Alright, so as you can see here, we just got back to the car park. It was a long but beautiful hike. We left here at 4:15 in the morning, and it's about 11:15 a.m. now. Hiked just over 10 miles, over 4,100 feet in elevation gain, and our actual walking time was about 5 hours and 40 minutes. So, don't underestimate this hike. It was really challenging going up so much elevation in such a short distance, but definitely really worth the views if you love hiking and find yourself in the Wānaka area. Definitely check it out. If you want more details on this hike, check out my website. I'll put the link in the bio. I'll be putting up more information in a blog post there. And please be sure to subscribe if you like this and want to see more adventures. Happy hiking!